Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first thing that you're doing for your informational writing unit, and that is listening to a read aloud. Now, this won't be like my usual read alouds because we're reading this to use for future lessons. I'm not going to stop and do a lot of the reading, thinking, and writing. I'm just going to read this for enjoyment today and just read it once for pleasure, and then I can go back to it and start learning from it, okay? So the book I chose is Polar Bears. It's a National Geographic for Kids book, and yeah, so let's just get started. So I want to first just take a look at the cover. So there's polar bears and cubs. Here's the table of contents. Let me read through those quickly. Who am I? Big bears, powerful paws, super swimmers, what's for dinner, bears in town, 7 amazing polar bear facts, cute cubs, playtime, what in the world, and a picture glossary. Okay, so clearly I know that the author's going to teach me about polar bears in this story. And from the table of contents, it seems like maybe they'll go through different parts as I go read along. Okay, who am I? I'm white and furry and I swim in the sea. The cold snow and ice are just right for me. Who am I? A polar bear. Oh, fun little poem. Big bears. Have you seen a polar bear in the zoo? Polar bears are big, really big. They are the biggest meat eaters on land. A polar bear can weigh as much as 7 men. A polar bear's body is built for the Arctic. These bears have thick fur to keep them warm. Polar bears have thick fat too. The fat keeps the body heat in and keeps the Arctic cold out. Here's a little word bite. It says Arctic, the area near the North Pole where it is very cold. And they also have these little question and answers. How do polar bears stay cool? They turn on the bear conditioning. Oh, jokes. Love it. Powerful paws. So you can see a diagram on that page. I will read all those labels. First, I'm going to read the text, though. A polar bear's paws do many things. Paws dig dens in the snow. They break the ice to find food. They also pull food out of water. Here's a word bite. Den, a hidden hole where wild animals live. The polar bear mother has their babies in a den. Okay, and here's the captions from the diagram. Long, thick, curved claws grab food easily. Thick pads keep feet warm. Front paws are webbed like ducks. This helps the polar bear swim. I did not know that. Bumps on the foot pads keep bears from slipping on the ice. Yeah, that makes sense. Big paws keep bears from sinking into the snow. The paws are larger than a dinner plate. Oh, wow. Super swimmers. Polar bears are great swimmers. They spend a lot of time in the water. Their front paws paddle. Their back legs steer. Their fat helps polar bears float. Here's another word bite. Float means to rest or move in water without sinking. What's for dinner? A polar bear eats other animals. Seals are its favorite food. This bear is hunting seals on the sea ice. Seals come up for air at holes in the ice. The bear waits and waits. Finally, the seal appears. The polar bear snatches it in a flash. Oh, what do polar bears eat for lunch? Ice burgers. Oh, I gotta tell that one to my kids. Polar bears have good noses. They can smell a seal 20 miles away. Polar bears have good hearing and eyesight too. These come in handy when looking for dinner. This bear has spotted an Arctic fox. There it is on the bottom. The ice melts in spring and summer. Polar bears stay with the ice when they can. They move to land when the sea ice is mostly gone. On land, they usually don't eat at all. Some bears may eat bird eggs. They may eat plants or berries, but there's not much food for polar bears on land. Here is another joke. Where do polar bears keep their money? In snowbanks. Okay, bears in town. In Churchill, Canada, polar bears come to town in the fall. The ice is melting earlier each year. It is forming later, too. The bears are hungry. They are looking for food. Our Earth is getting warmer. There's less sea ice now. This is dangerous for polar bears. They need the ice to hunt. What do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. All right, and here we have 7 amazing polar bear facts. Fact number 1 is the largest polar bear ever recorded was 2,209 pounds. That is the weight of a small sports car. Polar bears have black skin underneath their white fur. Sometimes polar bears get too hot. Then they take a swim or roll in the snow. Walruses are one of the few animals that polar bears are afraid of. Polar bears can eat 100 pounds of seal fat at a time. That's about as heavy as 400 hamburgers. Some people go on vacations to see polar bears. They ride in special buggies to stay safe. And polar bears clean themselves by rubbing their bodies on snow. Cute cubs. Every new polar bear is special. A mother bear has babies called cubs. She digs a den in the snow. The cubs stay safe and warm in the den. The cubs drink their mother's rich milk. They grow quickly. Soon, they are big enough to leave the den. You can see there's another word bite. It says cub, a baby bear. A mother polar bear teaches her cub to hunt. She also teaches them how to stay safe and warm. The cubs leave their mother when they are 2 years old. They are ready to live on their own. Why do polar bears have fur coats? Because they look silly in jackets. Here's playtime. Polar bears like to play just like you. Bears wrestle with each other. They slide in the snow. They like to play games too. Sometimes a cub gets a ride from mom. These bears are off on an Arctic adventure. What's a polar bear's favorite breakfast? Ice Krispies. Okay, so what in the world? These pictures show close-up views of things in polar bear's world. They use the hints to figure out what is in the pictures. The answers are on page 31. So this is like a little game. So here, 1, and then has a little hint underneath. Hint helps find dinner. I think it's a nose. Hint, you don't have one of these. My guess is a tail. Hint, polar bear's favorite food. We learned that was a seal. Hint, keeps the bear warm. And that's their fur. Hint, built for snow, ice, and water. I think that's their paws. And hint, polar bears are afraid of this animal. Ooh, walrus, I think. And then the answers are there at the bottom. I think we're all right. Cool, and then the very last page is a little picture glossary where it has those word bites, the definitions again. Arctic, cub, den, and float. All right. there you have it. Polar Bears by Laura Marsh. This is a National Geographic Kids book. It's part of a series. And I think it's absolutely fantastic. And I learned a bunch of stuff I didn't even know about polar bears. Okay, see you soon.